You are all fighting for the same thing. One of these.
In this video, we'll cover some major mistakes in the kitchen, from spiritual rejection to mad mystery meat dishes. Here are the top 10 worst dishes in MasterChef Season 7. Hope these don't trigger you too much.
Describe the dish, please.
The spirits say no.
4 talented amateur cooks, 2 aprons to catapult yourself in the top 20 of this competition.
Do you believe that strange forces have or are working against you to make your life worse? In this episode of MasterChef Season 7, we find one contestant who is psychic.
I know there's a white apron in my future because my ancestors told me so.
Very sure she would win an apron, Nico, a manicurist and self-proclaimed psychic from Michigan, announced to the judges and her competitors that
I'm the only one who has talked to the spirits and they've already told me that one of those belonged to me.
Tenoria was the only one to strike down her comments.
Absolutely not.
If Nico wanted to talk, she had to let her food do the talking instead. When it came time to present her food to the judges, Gordon and Christina were disappointed with the lack of flavor in her grits.
So you cook the grits in water, so no stock?
No stock.
Wow.
Wolfgang Puck, or Upchuck?
Does that look appetizing to you?
No, chef.
It looks like somebody ate it already once.
Yes, chef.
Creativity is very important when cooking. However, the problem with being creative with food is that it has to work.
Tonight, there were 3 dishes that really blew us away with how bad they were.
This mystery box challenge was under even more pressure because of world-famous chef Wolfgang Puck.
I have chosen an ingredients which comes in many colors, shapes, and forms. Live.
The young contestant, Nathan, was already pressured for being young and a bit inexperienced.
And all I keep saying to myself is, please don't taste my dish. Please don't taste my dish.
But he also made unappetizing baked potatoes for Wolfgang Puck. With his dish, Nathan wasted the time of such a renowned chef that even Gordon said his knowledge and dish showed how immature he was coming into the competition.
What Gordon said really hit me hard. I'm here to prove that I'm wrong.
Ramsay dish ruin.
Smell the fragrance in there. Bill, don't singe that beard.
Think of a very high-class dish that maybe you've eaten or have just seen from a high-class restaurant or video from a gourmet chef showing off their skills.
Keep the pan, don't rinse the pan. This is where we're gonna make our sauce.
Do you think you'd be able to replicate every single ingredient and technique of that fancy dish? Trying to replicate a famous or very popular dish is definitely hard to do. Continuing in episode 3 of MasterChef Season 7, another elimination was expected due to the test of replicating the finesse techniques Gordon had provided the home cooks in the challenge.
I'm gonna make it, but I'm not gonna tell you what's in it.
The only clue they had was that they were allowed to taste the dish.
5 minutes in the MasterChef pantry, but once you've shopped, there is no going back in.
The oldest contestant, Bill, left the MasterChef pantry with barely any ingredients and was using some interesting techniques to make the dish with.
I got my couscous steaming.
Is that what you tasted on Gordon's dish?
I really screwed up on it.
Unfortunately for him, his lack of creativity got him eliminated. His second chance was ruined by his poor deduction.
You know what they say.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Wedding washout.
The blue team is struggling to tolerate Captain Nathan's leadership style.
Quiet!
The 2 biggest things people at weddings enjoy most are the drinks and the delicious food. Then again, there are a lot of things that can go wrong during such an event.
I'm a person too, Pop, goddammit. I'm a person too. You're a moron.
The first team challenge was at a wedding of a former MasterChef contestant. During the team challenge, the blue team really struggled to get on the same page, especially since Nathan, the young contestant, got really heated when Shaun was trying to lead the group. Not taking any of it, Nathan tried running the group like a food dictator.
Ooh, those are very seasoned. Ugh. I need that sauce.
I'm straining it right now.
I need it now.
No soup for you.
There were huge blow-ups, poorly made food, and waves of confusing and intense power conflicts. There was bad vinaigrette being plated, scallops being cooked too early, and raw scallops almost being served.
It's raw, come on.
Seeing so many mistakes, Nathan was yelling at all of his team instead of not delegating and guiding like a team leader should.
Nick's not even married yet. We're about to screw the wedding.
Losing lobsters.
I could hear my whole family screaming, how did you screw that up? But I'm just hoping the judges see the passion that I put into this dish.
In most areas of the world, fish and crustaceans are one of the best ingredients when cooking, especially when the ingredient is as fresh as from the sea. The most famous, most expensive kind of fresh crustacean in the world
lobster.
Known for their big, meaty, juicy tails, these creatures are always best plated with lots of butter and lemon. Andrea, Nathan, Eric, Lisa Ann, and Diana were all left to be in the elimination round, where each of them had to make 5 lobster tortellinis with a shell soup stock. Determined to prove that they weren't ready to go home, 4 contestants really pushed through to show that they paid attention to Gordon's cooking lessons. While one, Lisa Ann, managed to completely miss the first important step, making the pasta dough.
You're Sicilian, why aren't you making pasta first?
I need the pasta to sit.
But I can't sit if you haven't made it.
And feeling the heat, Lisa Ann blanked and flambéed her shells while Gordon stood at stove level. She almost burned his face.
I can feel my face when I'm with you.
When she presented her dish, she was already nervous due to the way her tortellini had burst while it boiled.
1, 2, 3, 4 tortellinis burst.
And when Gordon tried it, and she tried it, they were both astonished with how salty the soup was.
Salty, she's salty, so salty.
This might be an example that you can take the Sicilian out of the girl after all.
You did all the simple things badly. I know that you can do better than that.
Red team rubbed raw.
There's more plates coming back, and I hope they're not coming back to the red team.
When in a team, it takes a lot to have something bring you down. It could be internal conflicts between team members or foul play on the player itself. In cooking competitions, most of the time it is a one-person fight, and all they have is themselves to blame for their loss. During the second team challenge on MasterChef Season 7, the teams were assigned to cook food for a lot of US veterans. If they failed with the food, they would be failing the men and women who had helped keep their country safe. Talk about pressure. The blue team had been warned about their charred honey-glazed meats.
But it's not cooking inside. There shouldn't have been honey on the outside.
But you don't put honey on a barbecue.
But the red team was faced with a brigade of bad plates led by an angry Christina Tosi.
I was just wondering, I didn't get any mushrooms on mine. I noticed the others did from the bread team.
The plates that they had sent out were either raw or missing sauce or veggies for certain veterans. Upset and embarrassed, Gordon yelled at the red team, but especially Manny, who was expediting the plates out without a lot of the needed portions.
If I was you all, I'd be turning it up a notch.
Yes, chef.
Otherwise, you guys have lost the battle.
To get to the other fried.
Something's burning.
Oh, it's Manny's.
Whew.
We've talked about bad sportsmanship when it comes to teams and individual competitions, but how important is it to keep the grudge? During an elimination round, the leading team from the previous challenge had to choose one name to be safe, which luckily was an easy challenge item.
Fried chicken.
Ooh, now I'm hungry.
They had chosen Eric. The team's captain, David, disagreed and said that he did the most work and it should be him who should have been saved.
I was the one to put my ass on the line to lead this team, so when there's a benefit, it better damn well come to me.
David was even more livid that he made his chicken taste like his anger, extra spicy.
Cayenne, paprika, Cajun seasoning, and chili powder.
You need to learn to let go, move on. And you need to bring every ounce of love you've got into what you're good at doing.
The intensity of David's cooking got others like Manny to feel the extra pressure of the challenge. Everyone both around Manny and up in the balcony could see the bad result of what was Manny's chicken. And when Christina took a bite, she had the look of regret and disappointment on her face. Manny's chicken did not get him to the other side after all.
I'm sorry, Manny, but the journey finishes tonight.
Mystery Meat Challenge.
Is this MasterChef or is this some weird, sick horror cooking competition?
Have you ever gone to a cafeteria and eaten meat that tastes like beef, pork, fish, or chicken, then realized it didn't really look like it at all? There are many mystery meats that people are still trying to figure out.
No, James, you said there were things in it. You eat some.
Ugh, no, I know what those things were.
In episode 8 of season 7, the home cooks were faced with ingredients of different animal parts: beef cheeks, chicken's feet, lamb's tongue, tripe, and lots of other strange proteins.
I'd love to have any of them. I've cooked them all before.
Seriously? Even the testicles?
Testicles are the best part.
Oh my God.
But few had never really thought of using leftovers to make a fine dish, or really a casual dish, out of unconventional meaty pieces of animals.
I've never cooked with pig ear before, but when I make pork, my friends and family, they tell me it's so good they want to rub it on their face.
And I gotta tell you something. Bacon is good for me.
One person thought he had the confidence in his mystery meat dish that he felt his presentation didn't need his failed parsnip puree. Unfortunately, the puree should have been there to soften the blow of his braised lamb tongue that was biting back. DeAndre's dish was so poorly made that Gordon spit out his dish. And you know what else? DeAndre spit out his own dish, too. Sweet 16 Sweet Tooths.
Before we even begin, I'm going to tell you how much I love the color of your cake.
Birthday parties are a rite of passage for everyone. The most popular rite of passage for birthday parties are in the teenage years, the times of starting to learn a bit more responsibilities, and the start of the self-journey. Going out with a bang, it is important to celebrate with lots of your favorite people, along with a huge dessert, which naturally comes back to the classic birthday cake.
This is one of the most amazing cakes.
I think it's beautiful.
But how sweet is too sweet for a sweet 16th birthday party? During this episode of MasterChef Season 7, the red team failed to persuade sweet 16ers with their bacon-infused chicken and mashed sweet potatoes, so they faced Christina's baking pressure test.
If your cake disappoints us tonight, we'll be blowing out the candles on your dream of becoming America's next MasterChef.
Though many of the results look good to amazing, the take is what's in the cake. The one cake that had high hopes but got low results instead was Tenoria's blueberry lavender cake.
Are these whole pieces of lavender right on top?
I did sprinkle some lavender on top.
To be quite honest, it looks like mouse droppings on top of your cake.
Edward Lee told Tenoria not only did the interior color of the cake mismatch the exterior, but also that her cake was way too sweet. Cavities much? Scorched sausage slam down.
Like that you took a risk. The concern is obviously it's an elimination challenge.
Everyone loves a good dog. No, not that dog. Pork dog, beef dog, chicken, veggie. Everyone has eaten a kind of sausage in their lives that was memorable.
Phrasing.
Gooey cheese toppings, beautifully crisp buns, or the seasonings within the sausage itself can make one's mouth drool just from the thought and talk of it. All these things can make a person love it to absolutely not want to eat it ever again. So how badly cooked does a hot dog have to be to cause such a bad experience? In MasterChef, we see contestants scramble to try and make the best sausage during an important pressure test. During this sausage fest,
Phrasing. Boom! Inappropriate.
Shaun was egged on by a major rival, David.
Why don't you shut up and just stand up there in your precious little balcony?
I'm still here, right?
Yep.
You might not be.
Letting David get to him, Shaun caught his grill on fire and caused his sausage casings to burst open. When judged, his sausages were strange, said Tosi.
You can definitely see that there's enough fat, but you can also sort of see where the venison just got grainy and dried out.
At least it didn't get the extra salt from his heated attack from David.
Salty, salty.
These moments and dishes left us with a bad taste in our mouths. Those were some of the worst dishes of MasterChef Season 7. If you want to see more videos like this, click or tap that subscribe button, and in order to become a trusted Babble Topper, be sure to ding the bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching!